So, hello and welcome to a different style of MT video. Today I'll be going through a little bit of a deep dive of an analysis and a battle review and just some key areas of how to become a better player in this game. This is the first video I'm recording before anything else I do, so anything else I post before on this channel would be done after today. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. So just a little background before this. This was a tournament from 2 years ago now. This was a free-for-all tournament, and at the start it was just 3 random races. Whoever had the most points, the top 2 would go through to the next stage. This was the losers final that I'm part of. That's me on the left in the silver GC8. And whoever got the most points out of this would go through to the grand finals. So let's get straight into it. This is about halfway through the first race. This is where the live stream picks up from. So I'm just going to be commentating through here. At the moment you can see I'm in second. I'm lucky enough to have the second screen as well, so I can see myself from another point of view. So let's see what happens firstly here. Okay, so unfortunate. Trying to block the yellow R32 all the way to the right, accidentally hit the truck. So I'm going to be saying this a lot. This is what I usually like to call a reset. So what a reset is that something massive has happened, either a good blocking defense, a failure to a blocking defense, I've gotten past multiple people or just one person at all, and now I reset. Okay, first thing I do in the reset, I'll probably put an arrow to this, is I look at how much kilometers I've got left. 11.5 Ks. That tells me what I need to do on, okay, do I have another opportunity coming up later of when I can overtake? Do I not have an opportunity? What do I need to do now? 11.5 Ks, anything can happen. It's still not even halfway through a race. Races are usually between 18 to 20 kilometers if it's a 4-way battle. What it seems to be right now, I think we're about to be doing new belt line. And this looks like the clockwise version. How much? I can't really see the horsepower, unfortunately, that we're on at the moment, but I think it's 720 to 760 that we're on. So I think we'll be branching into C1. So let's see what happens here. So yeah, branching into C1. That's why we're left here. And at the moment, I'm just really focusing on my line. Okay, so right here, I can see that something's happened. Someone's hit a car. This is when I need to adjust my lining here. So what I'm looking for is, okay, where's my best overtaking opportunity? Obviously can't go to the right here, so I head towards more the left. Do I get through here? Yes, I get past one, R32, but I don't think I could get through past the other. Now, I can already see what's about to happen here. I'm already too close to this yellow R32 to try and defend off. What if people don't know is that there's a little bit of a boosting mechanic you can do, is when you can swerve right onto the back of a car behind you, and it takes away the so-called boost away from them. That way the car in front goes faster, and the car that was catching up before can't catch up anymore. From what I'm about to see, this yellow R32 is about to go flying into the distance. Okay, not really, he hit the wall. Okay, so blue R34 has just broke to slow down the R32, so he will have cleaner options when going through this chicane coming up here. Compromises the R32's speed, and now I'm going faster. So now I need to adapt to this. Let's see if I do anything that's beneficial for me. Not really, I just bump into the back of it. So happening right here, you can probably see it on the white R32 screen as well, is that the 3 of us at the top here are kind of bunching up. This is going to cause a little bit of chaos coming up in a second. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think I'm just going to continue now. Okay, interestingly enough, the yellow R32 chooses C1 outward, which is you technically need less horsepower and more grip with this track. This is a very hard left here. and a very good opportunity to overtake. The white R32 is a little bit too far out, so my best opportunity here is to just dive right into the inside. But I don't think I do that. Let's double check. Yeah, I'm braking. I really should have dived into here, but I think everyone kind of had the same speed here, so I couldn't really dive into the corner. Oh, and I do manage to get ahead of the blue R34, sorry. Then with this yellow R32, I can see that I do have a little bit more speed. Not much though, because I'm pretty sure he would just easily block me. And just that simple bump, that's all he needed to do, just to make sure that I was ahead. You probably heard the people's confusion in the background. Why on earth would you choose C1 outward? Unfortunately, that's probably, if I go back here, he was defending at the time. The yellow R32 was just defending the blue R34 at the time, and really didn't have the opportunity to make sure he was always going to be ahead going into C1 in. That's why you probably hear the confusion in the background. Luckily enough, I get past, but I can't get past the yellow R32. You see him swerving now. Now, you really need to just be going fast in a straight line. Why on earth would he be swerving? I talked about earlier the boosting mechanic. If you hit the back of the car, so he's swerving out in front, and then I'm slowly catching up. If he hits the back of my car, even just the slightest, he takes away my boost to keep on going faster, and I just slow down automatically. And I think he does that now. No, he doesn't. I'm smart enough at the time. It's like today I would be, but back then I wasn't that great. I'm using a GC8 in a tournament. So I'm right on his bumper going into what I like to call this section the bus stop chicane. Basically it's a left straight and then a right straight, kind of what a bus does when stopping at a stop. Comes into the stop, then takes off. Yeah, I didn't have the speed unfortunately, but I do have the boost coming back now. So he's really only just focusing on me, the yellow R32. What is going to be difficult now is that I've got the car behind to worry about as well. So if I were to change this battle around today, I would probably back off a little bit, because then I'm looking at how many Ks I've got left. I want to probably team up with this blue R34 to try and get ahead of this yellow R32. Because at the moment, the R32 is the most overpowered car in the game. You literally can't get past it, especially when in the hands of a good player. So let's see what happens. I didn't lose. Okay, so I don't know if beginner players might be able to tell, but I'm about to get destroyed here. I've taken the line a little bit too wide, and this blue R34 is going to eat me alive and put me into the barrier very easily. The R34 is one of the most heaviest cars here. Am I staying ahead here? No. Okay. So all he had to do was just put me in the wall. I can see here as well, the white R32 is hit the wall, so I'm lucky enough not to even lose that as a position. So let's keep going. Never mind, I lose that. And then if you go back before, I get hit the wall. That's me losing my tempo. So then, reset. 4Ks to go, I'm in last. Do I have an option of coming first here? It's very unlikely. So I have to gather my thoughts, reset mentally. What am I going to do about getting ahead here? Is there a lot of overtaking opportunities coming up? One or two here. There's one more really hard right-hander here, but I need to be like perfect with my lining. The GC8 isn't really that good with boost compared to an R32 or an R34. So let's see what ends up happening here.
Next time. Yeah, next time. That means I got the double goal. Yeah.
That was lucky.
So actually I just...
Okay, so really just risking my options here. More just going for trying to beat the white R32. Dan, if you are watching this, I do apologise. At the time, I knew I was a better player than Dan, so I knew I could get past him just by putting pressure on. What I think that's about to happen here. Dan's just doing the swerving thing again to get boost off me, and I'm pretty sure he does right here. And that's pretty much me game over for the entire fight. There's really no overtaking spots unless you hit a wall like that. So I'm pretty much out of it now. So let's see if I do get it. I think I don't come last in this race. Well, I didn't know. Okay. And that's why you should never give up. That's why you should never give up, no matter what distance you are at. 2 kilometers, 1.5 kilometers, or even 1 kilometer. Never give up, because even that can happen. Sometimes the most ridiculous traffic happens in the most crazy corners. Like you get 3 trucks coming out of a really tight corner, and it messes up everyone's thought process. You have to think like that. So I was lucky enough to get that position. And again, it could happen with the 2 cars up ahead, but I was lucky. But if the race ended around this corner here, I might have been able to get second, depending on how much he put him into the wall, and if he loses that much speed, I could slide through. But that's the first race. I don't know if I'm going to do all the races in one video. You won't be hearing this if it will be. I think I will do all the races in one video, but I will stop the recording here for this one. Alright, second race here. This is on Yaesu Outward. So Yaesu Outward kind of connects to C1 Outward, and that recommended horsepower is around 700. And looking at the charts here, unfortunately the quality for this stream was very bad when we live streamed it. But I think everyone's gone 700 horsepower. That's kind of what I would have gotten. If I was very, very competitive, like if there was some sort of title on the line or something, I might have even today gone 680. Having lesser horsepower in this game is kind of overpowered, especially on tracks where it's meant to be like 720 or 700 C1. You end up going like 2 clicks horsepower back. It's called high grip meta. You can go around corners pretty much flat out without boost control, which I'll talk about in a later video. But some corners are a little bit hard to navigate. For now, I think staying on the recommended horsepower, which was actually a rule you had to do for this tournament, you had to stay within one click up or 1 click down of the horsepower you wanted to do. So technically I could have gone 680 here, because the GC8 is a little bit lighter. I will stop rambling now and we will go into this first video. So Yaesu is pretty much just C1 without, that was very lucky to get through that. Yaesu is pretty much just C1, but just a little bit of other stuff in before. Very lucky to get ahead of those 2 cars in the front, and then, apologies to Dan again. I do believe at this time I was a better driver than him, so all I had to do was just put pressure on, and then I could get ahead very easily. So that is something I still do to today. Let me go back. So massive oversteer here. What I'm trying to do is just get the boost going into this left-hander that's going to be very tight. Even to this day I still can't get this left-hander right because I don't drive it that often. What I don't see is this Pajero coming up on the left side here. So what I do is, that's karma, I guess, for saying that he's better than me. I turn way too hard to the left to try and get the boost off him, to then try and turn right, and then I end up going face first into the Pajero. And do I lose every single position? Yeah. So, reset. Have a look at how much Ks I've got. Race just started. We've still got plenty of time. So even the best of us, it happens to. That is completely normal. And honestly, the best timing for it to happen in a race. We've still got 17.9 kilometers to go. He'll catch up very quickly. Because with battling as well, even in like real life on track battles, if you battle on track, you're just wasting time for the cars to come behind you just to eat up that time you've put ahead of them. So yeah, not a massive issue right now. Lots of overtaking opportunities here if you are close. Okay, so see they're battling here. Let's try and sneak in on this battle. Blue R32, R34 just got ahead here. Try and let this. Paddy is one of the best drivers, especially with the R32. Doesn't play the game as often anymore, but at the time of this recording, he was very, very hard to get past. Did he make it to the finals? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Okay, so after this toll booth section here, it's a very hard left into a medium right. It's very easy to dive bomb here, which is something I'm pretty sure I do. In all honesty, I probably should have just waited, because I'm pretty sure this yellow R32 is going to eat this R34 into the left-hander. Okay, so what I've seen that's just happened, they've both hit the wall. So they've both hit the wall. I need to try and slide through here because they're losing speed, but I've still got my speed with me. So can I slingshot right through here? I get past the 34, but ooh, as you can see, that's about to happen here. Let's see if I can mouse it out. This section here, I know I'm going to go for this section here because as much that I'm trying to get ahead, I do tend to go as far away as from my opponent, because if you look into the rear view camera of when you're trying to look back in this game, you can only really see like a lane behind you. You really can't see all the way over to the left, and especially the marker at the bottom of the screen to tell you where the person is disappears. So when I'm all the way over this side here, it's really just experience and instinct of where I could be. So Paddy now has to slam all the way over to the left side, which actually might be lucky enough, because if he turns too late or too early, if he turns too early, he hits this Pajaro. He turns too late, I get through here. So let's see what happens. So he actually wasn't aware that I was there. He didn't even turn, because I covered it off straight away. And then especially now with me being ahead, I can use the blocking of him to boost ahead, and I should be safe going into this hard right coming up. If I get the corner right. Pretty much there, yeah. So, what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to start swerving to try and get boost off him here. What I think happens here is I do get the boost off here. Oh no, I actually get very lucky here, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, there I go again, swerving all over the place. Lucky enough there's no car on the left side for me to lose a position, but I just hold him against the wall. So, if this were to happen today with the current game's condition, I would have easily dropped back position. When a car pushes you into a wall, especially a GC8, an R32 pushing a GC8 into the wall, I would have easily just dropped back. Hitting a wall in this game is so... what's the word I'm looking for? It hurts in this game when you hit a wall. Your recovery isn't that good as well. So me being ahead here definitely should not have happened. So I'm lucky enough to be cushioning him on the right here. I hold my line, steer a little bit more left to make sure I don't hit this inside wall, and I carry that speed into the bus stop chicane. Reset. 13.6, 13.5 Ks. I still got a little bit of momentum behind me. 13 meters really isn't that safe, especially when he's going to be gaining. And this is the exact same corner I made a mistake before. And I think I know that I can't take this corner. So he is gaining. Gained 7 meters nearly in that section just on that straight. That's how overpowered the R32 is in this game. It's insane. So let's see if I hold the position here. So I go for the same technique I did the bus stop chicane, but this unfortunately doesn't work out for me. If I was ahead maybe a little bit more, maybe, if I was ahead maybe a little bit more, I might have been able to do the exact same thing I did in the bus stop chicane. But unfortunately, Paddy's good enough to put me into the wall, and he goes ahead. And then it really just all flops from there. But blue R32 gets ahead of me there. I'm not aware of my surroundings, and then the white R32 just passes just like that. That's how easy it is in this game to go from first to last. One corner, that's all it takes. So anything can happen when you're trying to overtake a car. Again, reset.
Still a while away.
Okay, so we were all tight there, and trucks out of nowhere. Unlucky enough not to get through. If I was maybe in an R32, maybe I would have gotten through. I doubt it. Not with that kind of speed buffer. The top two are gone. So I'm just kind of just focusing on trying to pass Dan in the white R32 here. I think he just boosted off me here. So I don't really have that much momentum going into this left-hander. So again, we reset. Traffic all over the place in this race, I remember. Okay, opportunity. Blue R34 slows up the white R32. Let's get involved in this. Okay, possibly could have waited here. I am losing a little bit of speed. The white R32 did take my boost again, going into this right-hander here. Let's see what happens though. So white R32 goes into it way too hard. I'm actually going to look. I wasn't looking at the screen yet. Does he think he can get through? It's a good diving opportunity, absolutely. The speed probably wasn't there. Did he make the right decision? In reality, no. Was it opportunistic? Opportunistic? I think that's how you say it. Yeah, absolutely. In a tournament, you got to remember that there's money on the line. We've all spent $15, I'm pretty sure, to enter this tournament, and whoever wins this gets, I think it was like $250, and $100 worth of time zone credit, I think it was. So yeah, would I have made that playing against my friends? Absolutely, I would have done that against my friends. Would I have made that in a tournament? Maybe. I wasn't in that position, so we never know. And then I get so unlucky, and it really annoys me when I do. So Paddy hits the wall here, and he slows down. I can easily, well, looking at this again, if I were to go to the right, all he has to do is just turn right with me, and he stays ahead. I tried to sneak through on this left side here. I don't even think I would have passed him at all. Lucky enough to get the white R32 there. And then we reset. So another good overtaking opportunity here. This is one of the toughest corners in battling, I'd say. Probably in both C1s. This is maybe... I'd say it's the toughest corner apart from C1 inward. Hard left hip, the hard left hairpin. This is where it is on C1 outward. If you can get ahead here, you can get a good boost off your opponents and really just go far ahead. However, staying in first after this corner tends to be a little bit tricky. You want to be... I like to be second or third, preferably second, because then all it takes is a little bit of pressure to get ahead of the first, unless you're like, for example, GYE or Y&K, who doesn't crack under pressure. So I get past the yellow R32. What my intention probably going into this corner was just going to dive it. I was just going to go straight into it, no brakes. But I can see that they've been pulled up, and I can see here that I'm about to get ahead. So I have to pull up. I go on the brakes right there. What I probably intend to do now is have the blue R34 cushion me around the corner. I do that, but I don't see the yellow R32 coming around on my outside, and then I make a stupid mistake like that. Let's have a look at that again. I thought so yellow R32, nah, he just stays in it and he just goes to the inside. Just as simple as that. That's all it takes. So I'm more focusing on behind than in front. I don't see this stupid Corolla coming up here. And I'm pretty much out of the tournament from here now. We reset again because, you know, we don't give up. 4Ks really isn't that much breathing room to go anymore. But let's see what I can make of it. Really tough corner to get ahead, to get right. Poor Dan doesn't hits the inside, loses all his speed, and I just take that position. Very lucky to get third here. Ooh, okay, it's another tough corner to get, like very correct. If you can get this right when doing time attack, you're on for a good lap time. Blue R34 hits the inside here, compromises his speed. Now I have to adapt. Let's see how I do that. I try to take the inside, but I think we both hit the inside wall here. Nope, we just both take the line perfectly, and I just can't get under the R34. Give nice speed boost to the R34 though, to try and catch up. This is where you want to be catching up, not caught up, going up the straight here. If you've caught up to the car in front, all they need to do is just boost off ahead of you, and they're gone into this corner. With 2.4Ks left, there is really only this corner coming up as an opportunity to overtake, and one more coming up later. So where I am sitting right now, I'm in a very good opportunity here to get first out of this left-right chicane. So I go all the way inside here, hoping that my speed is enough. He's 10 meters ahead here, the R32, hoping my speed is enough to dive in onto this R32. Let's see if I am successful. That's how overpowered the R34 is. That's all it takes to put me in the wall. All he had to do was just turn a little bit early. He put me into the wall, and then probably a little bit beneficial for him, he timed it, the blue R34 timed it perfectly. I pressed the wrong button. Blue R34 timed it perfectly for when he put me into the wall, to him not hit the inside wall, to take the optimal line, because now he's probably just gaining on this R32, of course me not looking where I'm going, and I take last here. He was very close on getting the yellow R32 here. And I was very close there, getting third as well. So that's the end of the second race. Let's quickly go into the third race here. So, the last race here. Going into the points, me and the white R32 were out of contention to win this. The only way, so Paddy in the yellow R32 here was pretty much clear. The only way he could lose is if he came last and the blue R34 of Tough 34 won. So he would have to win, but the yellow R32 would have to come last. That was the only way for Tough 34 to get through to the next round. We lucked out and got Hakone, which is always 760 both up and down, unless you're doing Mount Tycoon. One of my favourite maps to battle at the moment. Back then, yeah, maybe. Definitely not in this car though. This car is super slidey, and it's very lightweight comparing up to these behemoths, R34s and R32s here. So going into this, I knew I had a chance. I was just really just playing for fun now. So let's see how we go. One tip though that helps usually with going into this corner, there's only one car that helps here. With a 6-speed car, or 7-speed, 8-speed, anything that's higher than that's 6-speed or higher, here's a tip. Put it into third, going into this first corner, if you're going downhill. Second gear kind of just spins the wheels too much, and putting it into third, you get a little it depends on how much you luck out. For me, it has usually been pretty lucky, especially in like Evo 9s. when I put it into third gear and I go around this corner, just hard right, either starting on the left or the right, I'm usually pretty good and I'm usually get ahead here. The GCA is pretty light though, and I've got probably with one of the heaviest meta cars cut on my left side. So let's see what happens here. So you can see even before I start the race, I'm already turning left. I'm already starting to turn left into the corner. Look at that. I'm already starting to turn left before I can even take control of my car. Because I just want to see if I can edge out, trying to get as close as I can. I know I'm not going to get the white R32 here, but I just want to see if I can at least get ahead here. Because having the lead in this going down Hakone is very good. So I don't get ahead. Again, reset. Even mid-corner, I know that I'm not ahead. I know I've got literally thousands of overtaking opportunities coming up. Hakone is a track where you can literally just dive into every corner and you can get ahead very easily. There really isn't nothing really to talk about, or to analyze going around here. If you're consistent and you're keeping it straight, not hitting any walls around here, taking the optimal line, you're going to win no matter what. What I tend to do though is that when I am very close with an overtaking opportunity, just get as much as I can on the inside. So really just taking my time waiting for my opportunity. Here's one. Oh, very lucky to stay ahead there. Hit the inside, probably looking back at the moment, realizing I'm still gaining ground. So nothing to worry about right now. One of my favorite corners to do in Hakone. Hate that corner, still suck at it today. Again, just diving opportunities. Tried to dive on the 34 there, didn't work out. Hit the wall, we reset. Look up, I'm still miles ahead of the YR32, so no problem now. That never would happen today. There is no way ever that my car would just absolutely obliterate a 32 like that. Fortunately, hit the inside wall, so I don't really get the beneficial boost off the overtake. I stay ahead here. And I see myself gaining ground. Now I'm just locking in just to try and catch the R34. Do I really want to? No. So one of the turning points of the race has come up here. The whole order can change if everyone's really close around this hairpin here, depending on how you take it. What I tend to do if I'm out in front, I turn either super late and go all the way around the outside of this corner, or depends on if I can hold them, I turn super early and try to hold them into the corner. What happens with when I turn super early, they push me enough for me to then go around the corner and I'm still ahead. So I don't really think I even I do bother with an overtake. Looking at the angle right now, I'm just going to hit this inside wall here. Yeah. Then hitting this outside wall is not really good for me because I know this yellow R32 is going to hit me around the inside. I'm just going to fly through. So, poor tough 34. Has to reset. Then I hit the inside wall, so I know I'm really done for. It's very hard to win from back here. All my lines have to be so clean and on it. or Dan here hasn't caught up the whole race.
第一嚟嘅一件 Josh 同埋 Peter， 哇！Only one victory.
Lucky to get the overtake here, and then this moment right here is the moment I remember for the whole entire tournament. Just to say how stupid this game can be sometimes. I am from still not even that far back, and I'm coming pretty fast. Pause. On this R34 here. So then we talk about being opportunistic. Just dive straight into this R34. Theoretically I should get ahead, but since the R34 is so heavy compared to the GC8, nothing. So it was going through my head at the time to block this yellow R32, but I was the host for this event, and that would have been very hypocritical if I just blocked him just so he would come last. And that was the event for that one. So yeah, pretty disappointed in myself, but that's what I get for using a GC8 in a tournament that I've easily could have used a way better car. What would I have changed about my driving style for this? Honestly, just the car. I think my driving style really hasn't changed that much since this game. Maybe obviously taking the lines a little bit better. Yeah, if you do enter a tournament, one of my tournaments coming down the line, if I have one, or someone else's, just stick with the meta cars for now. You really, especially if there's money on the line, or if you put your own money in, like into a tournament, just use Evo 9 or R32. Don't really care what anyone else says. I know I'm gonna cop a lot of heat for that, but seriously, like, it's pixels on a screen. You're gonna care about what people use as a car. But that's really it. Hope you enjoyed that. I intend to make more of these types of style of videos, and I also tend to make more tutorial videos, which are probably already out by the time you're seeing this. Who knows? You might see this before I even put out any tutorial videos. But that's it. If you enjoyed that, let me know, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.